Once again, the government thought it was doing good, and once again, the negative fallout happens almost daily.
Mm.
This time, it's the beefeater restaurants that are making the last meals for their customers to chow down. Up until the end of the year, anyway, it seems that the legacy left by Rachel from accounts is still taking its toll. Beefeater restaurants opened for the first time in 1974. The first restaurant at Enfield, Greater London. The owners, Whitbread, famous for its beer, built a legion of restaurants and finally tipped their scale with 140 serving the public. But it looks like the doors will begin closing in September, a couple of months before Christmas, so that will mean employees may not have such a Yuletide as they had wished for. 3,800 will lose their jobs. Whitbread had to cut costs and save £250 million. But of course, it didn't stop there. Brewers Fayre and other associated brands are also to close their doors for good too. 89 Brewers Fayre will close on the 7th of September. 66 Table, Cookhouse, Cookhouse Pub, of course,
Yeah.
and Bar and Block will go on the 3rd of September. In total, around 200 establishments are to be closed. The group of restaurants employed 15,000 people each year, and although they said they will try and redeploy their workers into other roles, experience has told me that seldomly happens.
Yeah.
The writing was always on the wall after Dominic Paul, Whitbread's chief executive, informed back in May that he was planning to get rid of 3,800 positions. He said back then, we always challenge ourselves to improve and, in the light of significant cost increases in the form of business rates and national insurance, as well as the implied market discount to our inherent value, we've looked hard at the options open to us to maximise value creation over the medium to long term. That little gobbledygook, it means that there was always going to be room for improvement in their establishments. And it said that the cost increases speak for itself, of course, and the implied market discount to our inherent value, that was people not spending as much money as they could have been doing in their establishments. And maximize value creation is to get the profits going back up again.
Well, of course, yeah.
Right. Okay. So over the medium to long term, it's once all their accounts are in order.
Right.
So anyway, Paul also said the increased cost of employing people made it non-viable to take people on, which he said was a shame, as many of his employees either came off the dole or were youngsters working their very first job.
Yep.
So that's what Rachel's left behind her.
Well, okay. I'm gonna put the blame wider than Rachel, so to speak. It does appear that I'm going to use the term current administration in the UK is totally clueless about business, totally clueless about people, the street. I mean, for a party that claims to be for the working class man still, like you say, they've just managed to destroy 3,000 lives, 3,000 plus lives, families and everything else. They are totally clueless about what business growth is, what's required, even stability. They're working well, we know the agenda they're working on. It's an agenda to pull everyone down but themselves. Because the people okay, if you hit the multi-millionaire or what you perceive as the multi-millionaire businesses, that's not often the case either. Or the evil business owner. A business owner could be anyone from somebody that employs 3 people in a cafe, in this case, up to somebody that makes nuts and bolts and employs 500 people in a factory and above. Yeah, these are people that are just probably still breaking even as companies, organizations.
Yeah.
and then you whack on, oh well, yeah, they can afford it. They can't. It's not
because
sustainable.
they've also got their shareholders
Yeah, exactly.
to,
Yeah,
because nobody will invest in a company if it's not making a profit,
yeah.
because that's how the shareholders make their money.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. If you've got a privately owned business, that guy, he's not only paying corporation tax and he's taxed against employees, he's also paying his own personal tax as well, or
Mhm.
he, she. Yeah. Um, and yeah, they're having to make difficult decisions to lay off people. There's some, I mean, despite what you say, some of these establishments have excellent starter training programs for people from
Oh yeah,
school. I'm
yeah, yeah.
okay. They don't pretend and when you have the interview, they don't pretend it's a great job. It's a first job. It proves that you can get up and go to work every morning or every day evening, whatever the case may be. As I always say, if you can get up and go to a job that you dislike, you'll jump out of bed in the morning and go to a job you do like. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's a starter. It builds people. It gets young people money in their pockets, independence. And maybe that's part of the thing. They don't want people being too independent. They want people who are dependent upon the state, which you can't afford.
Yes, and I think you're near to the mark there, because the more people who are unemployed, they're dependent on the state to keep them bobbing along, to keep them alive.
Yeah.
And then they can do things like what Mr. Burnham as was announced yesterday,
Mm.
that if your youngster goes on to do an apprenticeship somewhere, we, the state, will give the parents 4,500 quid a year to sweeten the deal. And of course,
Where's it coming from?
failing to say that if you are unemployed on
Mm.
Social Security,
Mm.
that if you receive anything extra from an outside source, such as this
Yeah,
£4,500, it will be deducted from your Social Security.
exactly. Yeah. Robin Peters will
So
pay Paul.
basically,
Yeah,
that's right. So basically, the parents are getting, in real terms, the parents are getting nothing.
probably less.
But the government needs to be seen to be supporting the throngs of unemployed.
Yeah. Now, I'm not suggesting that a conservative government would organise it any better, um, but yes, I mean, maybe going back to root in education and everything else, and people being prepared for work and everything, which is what schools should be doing, not teaching them social etiquettes and worrying about other things, but it's an education issue. But um, I'm the more I read about all this, yeah, it's a con man. It's smoke and mirrors all the time. It's don't look there, look here. I mean, Andy Burnham is still going to run the same agenda as um, do you know I've forgotten his name already? Who's the last Prime Minister? Mr. Boring. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, him with a smile. Yeah. Um, so unremarkable. I've just forgotten his name. Yeah,
Starmer, I'll jog your
Starmer.
memory.
Yeah, Starmer. Yeah,
There's no reason why I should have to suffer on my own. In
it's the vision of that man. Now,
of
now,
knowing the name.
now we've got the guy with the bushy eyebrow. Like I said, he can't help how he looks. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't care how handsome or ugly my politicians are, providing they're good at their job. But yeah,
Burnham to me is his way of speaking. His way is very much like Tony Blair.
yeah. Hey, call me
It's
Tony.
very
Yeah,
much sort of like that, the Tony Blair style.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
And we all know what Tony Blair did. So
well, yeah. I mean, at one person I know met Tony Blair said I disagreed with everything the man said, but what a nice guy, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, and um, yeah, yeah. Burnham is. I mean, actually, you've seen videos of Burnham getting a bit angry, but okay, he's human, and I can accept that. Sometimes you get a bit frustrated, but um, it shows he has a heart, he has a soul, he's a human being. Again, sometimes I wonder if these things aren't orchestrated as well. Yeah, this guy lost his temper, but he's only human. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to be honest that I wouldn't want. I mean, it's often said I wouldn't want to be a 16-year-old in the UK at the moment trying to go out and find my first job. I wouldn't want to be a 50-year-old trying to find another job at the moment. Yeah. And honestly, I do look occasionally what's going down. Um, or I'm very cynical when I see jobs being advertised, be they big engineering projects, because I'm thinking, what's paying for them? Or it's like there was a hotel chain or something else, thinking what at the moment, or a restaurant chain, what is their business plan? What is their business model? How can they afford it when established ones are struggling? Yeah. Now there could be lots of reasons why businesses fail. Yeah, lots of
Of
reasons.
course.
And I'm not putting it all at the government's feet. If you don't, some people know how to run a business, other people don't. Some people build too quickly, others not quick enough. Yeah, it's a lot of luck involved. But yeah, when you suddenly hit a business with increased, not just slight increases, double bubble, like the corporate tax, then employer tax, national insurance tax, and everything else, businesses are going to fail. Like I said, I'm beginning to wonder if it's too consistent to be genuine. Yeah, a genuine misunderstanding. I'm beginning to wonder if there isn't an agenda behind it, and like you say, dependency upon the state, or an absolute destruction of society to rebuild it into a model you want to build it into.
Yep. Yep.
Am I a conspiracy theory too far? I don't know. Yeah, but um, I am basically had it. I'm raising both my eyebrows now. I'm angry. I don't show it, but I'm angry. I feel I'm angry for the
You,
ordinary
you,
people of the UK. Yeah,
you're using too much Botox. You don't, if you can't raise your eyebrows that much.
yeah,
There you
well,
are.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not.
So anyway, I think, yep, I think mostly you're right. Um, I think that this present leader, he's not going to get half the things that he wants to get done
Mm,
because the UK just doesn't have any money. We'll
mm,
find that out in September, October time when the budget comes round. And basically, he won't get half the things done because his backbenchers
mm.
won't allow him.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, if there is that division, that means government is failing, which could trigger a general election.
Yep,
Now, what will happen with it? Okay, let's just say another party gets in, be it one of the traditional parties or a new one or a coalition of new ones. What wiggle room do they have?
well, they've already set out a lot of their uh, manifestos.
Manifestos, yeah.
Yep. So leaving the ECHR, chucking the recent arrivals back.
Mm,
Um, they are wanting to reduce social security,
mm,
make it limit it more.
yeah,
And so that's a start. That's
yeah,
a start. Because once you've got the money in your coffers, you can start building.
yeah. I mean,
You can't
yes.
build on nothing.
Well, yeah, but the trouble is, if we keep going on with the current administration, that's exactly what you will have to build on. Is the point
Yes,
I'm
well,
making.